We are here today. We are going to be discussing the case study of Beyonce the Mogul, not just Beyonce the entertainer, but Beyonce the Mogul. And the reason why we chose Miss Beyonce is because, yeah, she's Queen Bee, but because she has a way of diversifying her portfolio that is really strategic, and if you follow her and you're not just a fantic, and you follow her business moves, she really sticks to herself. She stays in the back, even though she is a superstar, a mega star. She's very secretive. You know how we always say, make your next move your best move and don't tell everybody what you're going to be doing. Just pop out and do it. That's what Beyonce does. She may give you a small tidbit of maybe this is what I'm about to do next. And, her fans always catch on to that. But it's all strategy. It's all strategy. She definitely plays chess and not checkers. So, Adrienne, Miss Graham, thank you so much for joining me. We are definitely going to dive into this right quick and use Miss Beyonce as a case study when it comes to business. And you are a business mogul yourself, a CEO, that I duly highly respect. So I'd like to know what your outlook on this is, because it was brought up on your page in regards to Miss Beyonce's mogul status.
Right. Well, she stays true to brand. Let's say that. Let's start there. A lot of people look at her and say, oh, she's doing too much. She's not doing too much. She's very strategic. And everything, if you notice, things that she pops up with are in direct alignment with her brand. You never see Beyonce going out there saying, well, I'm going to sell some Air Jordans, or I'm going to go out there and sell some Cheetos or whatever. She's very specific about the things that she releases underneath her brand and the timing of it. We had the conversation about Lemonade when she dropped that a couple of years ago. It was, in my opinion, it was more of a marketing strategy to me, because we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. Whatever happened between her and Jay, that's their business.
Correct.
But when it came to her really kind of taking the conversation back and exploding her brand, she said, watch this. I'm going to drop this and drop this whole visual album that people just went crazy over. And if you notice, before that, she wasn't really releasing music like that. But when she started releasing that, when she released Lemonade, that started a path for her to start releasing the rest of her music, going forward in this manner. So what she did was she took back the narrative, she created a frenzy, and she had it to where her Bayhive, whatever fans, whatever you want to call it, were expecting more from her. And that led to her to be able to say, okay, yeah, I had the Pepsi endorsements. I had these endorsements. We did the Cartier or whatever, I think Tiffany's or whatever it was. Yeah. But she got real strategic and said, now let's see what I can drop on my own, because we all know she did House of Darion, fashion brand, which I think is now no longer happening. But if Beyonce wanted to come back right now because it's so hot, because of coming off of the Renaissance tour and the movie, the film, documentary, she is in a perfect spot where she can release a line of socks and her fans will eat them up. So she really did a good job in reclaiming her brand and being able to launch products or services that were in alignment with her brand. Like Ivy Park, I know that there's something going on with Ivy Park. I think she's either changing it or getting rid of it or whatever. Yeah. But those are moves that she can make because she's built that cult following. Now, we're all not like that. We are all not Beyonce, but we can learn from that and learn how to strike while the iron is hot.
Yes. Beyonce business moves is what I like to call it. Because it, like I said, if you're more than just a fan and you actually study, how she moves as a businesswoman, it's incredible. And she's very strategic, like I said, even down to, I think she has an all-female band or, just all of that. And then when you see all the people, the diverse people that she works with, it's amazing. It's amazing because she really takes the time to figure out the type of people she wants around her, and I think a lot of us need to sit back and realize that who do you have around you that can make you a powerhouse, that can make you a Beyonce, because she's not doing it by herself. She has a team to make her into this mega mogul, but at the same time, that strategy, that game plan, know how to sit back and know how to observe more than actually speak. Because if you know that she doesn't do a lot of interviews.
No.
And I used to wonder about that, but it's just like, she doesn't need to speak. She don't even need to introduce herself because her talent and the way she handles her business speaks for her. And when you were speaking about, you know, her having these companies as far as the fashion and stuff like that, what I have noticed is she's not afraid to take chances. But when it comes to the clothing aspect, the retail side, it doesn't seem like that's really her niche, you know, even though she is Beyonce and she can sell anything. It never exploded the way that I thought it would, you know, because and I hate to use this as an example, like how the Kardashians, you know, they're retail queens, but they can never get on stage and demand, you know, the fan base or demand, you know, how Beyonce does, you know. So I guess that's where we as business women have to identify, like, where is our niche? Where do we fit to where people are going to buy from us, purchase from us? Because just because you're capable of doing something and you're popular or famous doesn't mean that you're going to make sales.
Right. And the other part of that is this. I think in just watching her trajectory, I think that had she launched Ivy Park during Renaissance, she would have made a lot of money. Definitely. But you remember, Beyonce was in the beginning was going off her popularity, her fame, and all of that. I think Lemonade was the defining moment for her as a businesswoman, because I think it was after that with the whole Coachella deal. That's another part of her. Everybody said, "Oh, well, Taylor Swift got that. She got
yeah."
But Beyonce negotiated the rights for.
Oh, girl, let's talk about it. Yes.
So yes, she got my attention after that.
Yeah.
What I always said to her
about equity and all of that stuff.
Yeah. What I was impressed with is that Taylor Swift got paid. That's it. Okay. Beyonce set it up so that she keeps eating off of that.
Correct.
In perpetuity. See, and that's a phrase that we Black women need to learn and hold dear to our hearts. In perpetuity. A lot of people want to go for the fast cash grab, and that's cool. If that's what you need to do, you do that. I'm not opposed to that in certain situations, but you have to be, as a businesswoman, you have to be strategic and think about, how can this serve me long term? If this can't serve me long term and my future generations long term, then do I really want to do it? Because think about it. Videos forever, movies are forever. Okay. It went from the old screen, you know, you have to see the movie, to the whole Blockbuster, to the whole Netflix, to the whole streaming chat, you know, so it's forever. And she will, every time somebody watches that, the cash register rings.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And not just that, let's get into the whole ownership licensing kind of thing. She can pull that after a certain amount of time. Because if I remember correctly, I think she had the deal for a couple of years, and then she retains the rights back to that. So she go stock that somewhere else in perpetuity. A lot of us don't think about those kind of things. And this Beyonce caught my attention when she did that deal with Coachella, because that's exactly what she did. Similar to what she did with this Renaissance tour. Now, you and I know it's just footage of the tour. Okay, I get it. But for the fans who didn't have the money to pay the $1,200 or whatever to go to the show, this is their chance, again, in perpetuity. This is their chance to experience it, but on the screen. Right. She knew what she was doing, and I ain't mad at her.
And I'm not mad at the fact that she brought her daughter onto the stage, because, baby, that was a business move out of this world. Let's talk about it.
Taxes, okay? Because you can put your child to work, and little Miss Blue Ivy did her thing. I don't care what they did.
She did her big one.
But she did her big girl thing. Okay? But she set it up so that, number one, she was giving her daughter the experience of working with. Now, we can, as businesswomen, we can do the same thing, and some of us do the same thing. I don't have a daughter, I have nieces, but we do the same thing with our own children and bring them along for the experience. Number two, that has tax advantages. hiring your child at a certain threshold. I'm not an accountant or a tax advisor, so please contact your professional.
Right.
But also, what it does is it solidifies the family, the generational thing, because it's in my opinion, this is the way I saw it. Yeah, it was a business move, it was a mommy move, and all of that. But for me, it was kind of like prematurely, like passing the torch. So like Beyonce gets to her age where she's like, I ain't performing no more, whatever. She had properly groomed and prepared Blue Ivy to be able to pick up where mommy left off and carry on the family business.
Right.
That's the way I looked at it. Other people like, oh, why did she bring her daughter? Why did it? No, she did a smart thing.
Correct.
So, we need to start thinking in terms of, we need to step away from the ego.
Okay.
I'm the star. I did. I am. I want to. My business, and start focusing on how can I make this a generational thing? How can I
legacy
position this right for a legacy so that my children can pick up when I'm long gone? Exactly. But too many people, and I'm gonna say, y'all get mad at me if you want to. Too many Black women want to be the star, the center of the show when they're not thinking long term. So it's like quick money, cash grab now. You're not thinking about the long-term legacy wisdom.
Because that's what legacy is all about. Generational wealth building is all about. I mean, are you building generational wealth for the outside community or for your family? Whatever you consider that to be. But at the end of the day, you have to be grooming, and I had posted that today, you have to be grooming somebody within your family unit and teach them what you do. You know what I'm saying? They need to know your faults. They need to know your downfalls. They need to know, your weaknesses, if anything, not just your strengths, because you need to make them a better person to carry this legacy. You can't call it a legacy if you're not grooming somebody to keep it going.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of people, and this is not just a Black thing, but a lot of people, when they come into new money, it's, well, I'm going to set up and this was a conversation that I had, people yelled at me on my page. Well, I'm going to set my kids up for success. I'm going to make sure I'm not kicking them out at 18. I'm going to make sure that they're growing, But there's caveats to that. You cannot just tell your 19-year-old child, hey, stay here till you figure it out. No, you have to start grooming them from an early age. Okay, this is what I do. This is the business that we run. This is what you need to learn. You need to prepare them. When my son went off at 18, he was not a trust fund baby. Right. He was poor. But I know that from the age of 3 years old, all he ever saw was his mother running businesses, his mother running companies. So he learned a lot from me while he was growing up. So yeah, while it hurt that he chose, I didn't put him out before everybody started getting on me. When he chose to leave at 18, from a mother perspective, it hurt, but it was like I prepared him. My son is a fully functional, capable adult today at 32 doing his own thing. He left at 18 because I prepared him. We need to stop coddling our children and start teaching them about business, because the way this economy is going and the way this world is going, there is no loyalty in employment anymore. You have to learn, and not just learn the basics of business. Let them see everything that you're doing. Beyonce, I'm pretty sure Blue Ivy is watching everything that her mom and dad is doing.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's what we need to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I totally stand on that. I stand on business. I tell people all the time, you can always go back to school, unless you're in the profession of medical and stuff like that. You have to be there. But I mean, explore, go out and experience the world. Go see where it feels right for you. Don't go based on what somebody said you need to do or following a family tradition or whatever the case may be. No, go figure out what you need to do, where you fit. So I'm so glad we had this conversation, because, it definitely has put into perspective so many things when it comes to business. And I like using, celebrities like Beyonce, because she is a business mogul. She is a boss, a billionaire. Even though she doesn't put it out there like that, she's a billionaire. And I just want to give her props. Hey B, give her props on that, because we're looking at you more as a businesswoman than just an entertainer. So thank you, Adrienne. You're so calm.
Well, I just want to leave the audience with these 3 tips. When I want you to sit down and put yourself You are Beyonce. You are the Beyonce of your business.
Yeah.
What I want you to do is figure out what aligns with your brand. How can you branch out and do other things that aligns with your brand so you can build an increase? Number two, I want you to bring your family members in, the trusted family members like your children in, and start teaching them from an early age and show them the business side, especially like entertainment. People look at the performing and stuff. No, the business side. You have to learn the business side of it. And number three, start thinking about succession planning, because eventually you're going to have to turn the reins over to that next generation or to whoever. So if you want to start thinking about that now, you can be retirement 20 years. Start planning from now, because that way when it's time, it's seamless. It's a seamless integration for you.
Mm-hmm. Amen. We need to stay. And that's a key word right there. Retirement. That's something that we need to start saying a lot, because, you know, it's not just because of our age. Like I was thinking about retirement back when I was in my 20s. Okay. Because I just knew I'm not going to be working for the rest of my life. And I ended up retiring, I think in my like 30s or something. So it's like, come on now. Like, yeah, that's what we really need to be focusing on right there. And you're right. So let's raise them up to be bosses, you know, follow mogul business women so that you can learn how, you know, this game is played. Follow bosses like Miss Adrienne Graham, because she definitely is going to get you straight. But she works with the CEOs, like the C-suite. So you got to already be in business and making some moves to get a hold of her. I'll help
ready
start up.
Look, all business owners ain't CEOs.
Okay, yeah, that's number one. So thank you, Miss Lady. How can they get in touch with you?
They can reach me on my website at mogulchix.com or Mogul Chix Academy, or across the web on Mogul Chix, and that's Chix with an X.
Amen. Until next time. Thank you so much, boss.
Thank you.
All right.